Free. Aha, you're not ready. Free. Remade. Greatness. World changer. Decisions. Be the change. That's our huge theme for this week. And what an incredibly good theme it is. I've loved working with it. And I want to go back a few years. I told you I'd tell you a little bit of my story. And just briefly, I want to share a few things. And I actually need to tell you that once I had hair. Do you actually believe that? No? All right. Here it is. Here it is. That's me. And in fact, my wife's up the back today. You say, hello, Robin. Hello, Robin. She actually met me when I was about that old. So she saw a very different me when she first met me. But that's me. I think I was around 17. And I was into motorbikes and cars. Anyone into motorbikes? Cars? Oh, I was about 10 of you. Cool. I can remember at age 17, I'd actually gone to Avondale College as a student, believe it or not, to do a carpentry and joinery pre-apprenticeship course they used to offer back then. And I was there and I was actually not supposed to have a motorbike, but I did. Ooh, rebel. I actually had this motorbike. It actually had number plates and stuff, but that's probably 6 months after it. I'd ruined it by then. And I decided one Thursday night that I was going to go for a ride from Cooranbong to Newcastle, about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. And I was going to go into the main street. You know, the main street? That's where it all happened back then, not anymore. It's a cool main street, and I want to show you a picture of the main street. There it is. Looks pretty dodgy, doesn't it? That's the main street in Newcastle because it's dead now. The shopping centre's killed the main street. But when I went there back in whenever it was a busy, busy place. In fact, Thursday night was just packed with people cruising up and down, hoons in their hot cars, guys checking out girls, you know, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure the girls were checking out the guys too. And I can remember I was riding along the main street of Newcastle and it was dark. I had the lights on and I was cruising down and I was just, turning the head a little bit, just checking out the scenery, checking out the scenery. Oops. And then I looked up and I saw a car stopped in front of me. And I hit it pretty hard. And this next picture is not exactly me, but it probably looked something like that because I actually went upside down and landed on the footpath through a few cars. My leg was really bad. I jumped up and fell down. My right leg has still got lots of chunky bits in the bone from that accident. But I want to tell you something that during that period in my life, lots of things got in the way of God. In fact, I decided to forget about the God thing. I didn't want anything to do with him, really. I just thought, no, I don't really need him. No, I can do stuff without him. I can do life without him. I don't really need God. I didn't hate him or anything. I just decided I didn't need him. Lots of things got in my way. Distractions got in my way. Ever been distracted? Well, back when I was that old, there were no such thing as mobile phones. Nothing to distract you like Twitter and Facebook, but there were probably girls that distracted or other things. Lots of things can distract. And I remember for a couple of years, I got distracted with life, and particularly for me, it was my car and my motorbike. That took my focus. God came second. And I remember it was one Saturday afternoon and I was working on my car and I was underneath it trying to put a bolt on a manifold, a nut on a bolt on a manifold under the car. And if you don't know much about cars, it's somewhere under the bonnet. But I was underneath the car and I was actually working on this and I was working on it for about 2 hours and I couldn't get the nut on the bolt and I was getting angry. Anyone been angry before? No, don't put your hand up. I was getting angry. And I was getting really angry, and I don't know why, but for some reason, God came into my conversation with myself. You ever had a conversation with yourself? Don't admit it. But I was under the car, there was no one around, I was in this big grassy area, And I was having a conversation with myself, and God came into it. And I said, God, if you're really there, you'll help me put this, and I swore, nut on this bolt. And you know what happened? The nut fell on the bolt. And I had been for 2 hours trying to get this thing on the bolt, and I was so angry. It was a hot day. I was frustrated. I even swore at God, Nelly. But he answered my prayer. And you know what? I nearly fell through the ground that I was laying on. If it could have opened up and swallowed me, I would have let it. I was so shocked that God heard me when I was going crook at him, and that he actually acted on what I asked him. Now, he doesn't always do exactly what you ask him, I need to say, because sometimes it's not beneficial to us. But this time it was absolutely beneficial to me. It was a miracle in my life. It was a turning point for me, and it was at that point I decided that I was going to come back and work with God. He hadn't given up on me. And God and I have been on a journey. We've been on a journey since I was probably about 18, 19, right through to today. And he will continue on a journey with me. Incredible God. Be the change. God wants to use you to be the change. And you might say to yourself, no way, I can't do that. I can't be the change. I'm just little insignificant me. I can't be the change. Well, yes, you can. You can do incredible things. And I want to put this guy up on the screen, if we haven't yet. After I do these verses. There's two verses I want to share quickly before I share this guy. 1 Peter 5 verse 8, it says this: keep awake. Watch at all times. The devil is working against you. He's real, guys. He's real. He's walking around like a hungry lion with his mouth open, and he's looking for someone to eat. Not literally, but he wants to smash you down spiritually. No doubt about that. And then to contrast that verse, I want to put this one up. And this one says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Christ is the strong one who overpowers the devil. If you want a really neat life, choose God. That's what from my experience, when I actually walked on my own and did my own thing, life was good. It was good, but it wasn't as good as it can be. Check out this guy, Nick. Anyone seen Nick before? You may have seen this clip at school. Have you seen it? Uh-oh, you're going to see it again. Here it is. This guy is incredible. If you think you can't do stuff, if you think you can't be the change, check out this guy. For me, when I see Nick, I think, Nick, what has he actually got? He's got this little chicken drumstick, he calls it. But he doesn't let anything stop him. He was talking about when he was 8, he thought he'd never get married. Do you think about that when you're 8? But he did. But there are actually photos of him out there of him married, and he's got kids. Incredible. Be the change. Do something. What are you going to do to be the change? We've been challenged all week. We've been challenged about looking at ourselves. We've been challenged about connecting with God and then stepping out and doing something. I want to finish with this clip that I believe is a really, really powerful clip that challenges us all and sums up where we've been going this week. Do something. Time for us to do something. I don't know what you're going to do. You get to choose. Be the change. We're going to step outside and go to the yellow wall. Do you know where the yellow wall is? We're heading down to the yellow wall. So if you want to all just stand up, and we'll head down there now and see you down there in a few minutes.